When the Democratic Party came along in the last election and embracing woke culture and beyond, identity politics, pushing immigration and whatever, there are vast segments of the population in the country spread out that wasn't going for that. They got no problems with the federal government saying, okay, we got federal mandates and this is what is lawful, this is what is unlawful. That's entirely different than you trying to literally impose your will on other people's way of life. When you do that, you get in trouble. Because I know plenty of people that would sit up there. I know plenty of people that voted, you could be a member of the LGBTQ community. No problem. Gay rights, transgender rights, etc. Listen, they ain't my flavor. It ain't what I want to do. It ain't what I want to be around, but I don't mind you having the same liberties as I have. When the Democrats came along in the last election, that wasn't enough. You had to love everybody too. You had to embrace everybody too. You had to damn well come across like you want to live that life. That's different. People ain't going for that.
We are in day 2 of the Schumer shutdown. Yes, indeed. Chuck Schumer and Hakeem Jeffries are literally responsible for the government shutting down, and any services that are not online right now, you can go ahead and look to the Democrats, because President Trump and the GOP offered a clean CR, which is a continuing resolution, and presented it to them just enough to keep the government open. Reluctantly doing another CR, by the way, because we haven't had a balanced budget with the federal government for years. There's been no budget. There's just been CRs, CR after CR after CR, just enough to keep the government open.
I was a liberal for most of my young life. Through college, I lived in a very liberal city. I was a part of the LGBT community for a minute. All my friends were liberal. I held all these liberal beliefs. And let me tell you, there was no hate like liberal hate. I had conservative family members that still talk to me, that still engage in conversation with me, even though I held liberal beliefs. But the second that I became more conservative, you best believe I lost like most of my friends. The second I had a child, most of my liberal friends were not anywhere to be seen. They didn't know how to support me. They didn't really care. When I told a few of them I was pregnant, they reminded me of my right to choose. That was their first reaction. And even within the liberal community when I was in it, it was always this like, who's more woke? Like, you better have the right opinions about this. You better have the right opinions about that. Like, there was no winning. There was literally like never woke enough. I've never experienced anything even close to remotely the same in the conservative sphere. I went through addiction, through single motherhood. I went through many, many hard things in my life, and the people that were the most supportive, that were the most understanding and the most non-judgmental were the conservative Catholics. I know this is just like a personal anecdote, but I do feel like there's this just like generalization about conservatives, that they're very judgmental and that they only want, you know, people of their kind or whatever, but it's just like literally not true. I mean, just go down to my video about Charlie Kirk versus Jimmy Kimmel. All of the comments are like so dark and cruel and mean and snide and sarcastic and like void of intellect. Like, this is how the left communicates.
1, 2, 3, say it with me. Kilmore Abrego Garcia. Say his name. Kilmore Abrego Garcia. Do you recall just 3 months ago, this was the only thing that Democrats wanted to talk about? Do you recall that just 3.5 months ago, this man was the biggest topic in America? A drug smuggling, sex trafficking, child porn having Kilmore Abrego Garcia. And I'm starting the show talking about him because I want you to understand how the Democratic Party screws people over. Now, Kilmore Abrego Garcia was made into the poster child for fighting Donald Trump. He went down to El Salvador to the MS-13 gang holding cell where he was with his fellow brothers and sisters, or brothers of MS-13. Well, quite frankly, he was in great living conditions and everything was good. But the Democratic Party went down there and was like, no, Kilmore, we're going to make him bring you home. And then judges came out and filed injunctions and demanded that the president bring Kilmore Abrego Garcia back home all while they knew there was nothing they could do to save Kilmore Abrego Garcia. Just as a point of being opposed to Donald Trump. Now, Kilmore deserves to go to prison. I'm not defending Kilmore in any way, shape, or form. I'm just pointing out how damn wicked and evil the Democratic Party is. This man is getting ready to go his behind to Africa. Africa. Now, he was down in El Salvador with his people. Where he from? He from El Salvador. He was with his people. Now, thanks to the Democratic Party, Kilmore Abrego Garcia is going to Africa. And I want to be clear with you. You see, in Africa, Kilmore Abrego Garcia is white. He ain't El Salvadorian. He's a white boy in prison with a whole bunch of black people. Now, the last time I showed y'all the prison system that they was talking about sending them to, and it was an outdoor open-air prison. And, I mean, it looked like 120-degree heat. It was insane. But let's just take a look at what's going on with Kilmore Abrego Garcia. Let's just take a walk down memory lane. We're going back down memory lane. Woo!
The other story we're covering this morning is Kilmore Abrego Garcia. Remember, he was immediately deported to El Salvador because suspected of being a MS-13 gang member, as well as being a two-time domestic abuser. But they brought him back from El Salvador because the judge said that was the one place he was in danger in. So now that he's back, he could be deported within 72 hours to Uganda, or he could be reported to Costa Rica. Your thoughts about how it's being handled and the sympathy he's starting to drum up?
Well, again, the left, this is their cause, right? They're going to run to those that the Trump administration is simply enforcing the law on. I think it's important to remember Abrego Garcia came into the country around 2011 illegally. He got a final order of removal from an immigration judge in 2019 that says you have no legal right to be here in the United States and you must leave. He declined, or he defied that order as well. And then he got a withholding of removal that said we can send him anywhere except El Salvador. And I know the Trump administration disagrees with that. So if I'm the Trump team, obviously they're pursuing charges against him, human trafficking charges and the like. And I'm sure they want to see that through. But they also have the ability to remove him to another safe third country, Costa Rica, Uganda, or basically anywhere else in the world that we have agreements. And so they're likely going to do that. They should do that. He has no legal right to be here in the United States.
And so now Kilmore Abrego Garcia is going to Uganda. A judge rejects Kilmore Abrego Garcia's bid to reopen case. Let's removal order stand. The final order of removal against illegal immigrant and accused MS-13 gang member or MS-13 gang member Kilmore Abrego Garcia will stand after an immigration judge rejected a motion for his attorney to reopen the case on Wednesday in August. Abrego Garcia's attorney had petitioned to reopen the case due to fears that he was at risk of imminent removal to Uganda after the Department of Homeland Security notified them that he may get deported to the African country. The word may is permissive, Deputy Director of Chief Immigration Judge Philip Taylor wrote in his opinion. It indicates that the court that in sending this notification to respondents' counsel, the department sought to convey that it reserved the right to remove him to Uganda, not necessarily that it intended to do so, that it had decided to do so, or that it would so imminently. Meaning, when we said we may, it didn't mean that we was going to send him. We may just send him to Uganda. We may send him somewhere else. And that was the whole contention of his lawsuit, was that he was going to Uganda, and is now thrown out. Here is the criminal hero, Kilmore Abrego Garcia. And you know your country's in a bad place when one party makes a wife beater, child trafficking, human smuggler a hero. And they have signs that say free Kilmore. Think about it. Free Kilmore is where we were in this nation. It's now he is going to Uganda. Would you like to take a look at a video of Ugandan prisons, or would you like to just proceed and move forward with the next subject? I personally think we should take a look at what the prisons look like in Uganda. Everyone in the classroom, raise your hand if you want to just get a glimpse at a Ugandan prison. Let's take a look, please. Now, I won't subject you to the chanting that they have to do in prison, but this is a video from 2019, and this is what was going on in Ugandan prisons in 2019. When I say the Democrats screwed Abrego Garcia, they screwed Abrego Garcia. They screwed him. Look at this. They screwed the man. And if I was Kilmore, I would have said, hey, man, I don't want y'all help. I want to be clear with you. I do not feel sorry for him. But this is where he needed to end up. I mean, are you seeing this? Let me move myself out of the way. Are you seeing this crap? Now, if you're one of those people that watch this video and be like, well, I think that's inhumane. I want you to remember, this was the person that smuggled human beings. This is the person that got paid money to basically be a slave trader. And if you black and you like, that's my brother, he the same skin color. No, he's a slave trader. Because the people went to sex trafficking and slavery. So don't come over here with your skin color idolatry and think you're going to make me feel a certain kind of way. I want you to understand. Black is not your God. If black, your skin is your God, then you's a damn fool, because your skin can't help you with nothing. It has not helped you with anything other than being insecure. Maybe they're trying to cool off in the mud. Maybe that's what it is. Kilmore can look forward to cooling off in the mud. Yeah, that's what it is. To cool off. You want to roll in the mud to cool off. Kilmore will be a muddy mess. Yep. That's what's coming down the pipeline. Next subject, please. Next thing I want to talk to you about is Antifa. And if you know that, if you've been following me, you've seen me go to this young lady's videos, Katie Davenport, while she's on Twitter, because she covers the Antifa riots live. And there's been multiple times where Antifa tried to intimidate her and try and assault her. And she has a Bruce Lee-looking bodyguard that was out there just making war with them. And it seems as if they finally got their opportunity to abuse women. But is not this the party, the Democratic Party, or not the party of women that say, my body, my choice, my body, my choice? I guess it wasn't her choice not to have their sticks and hands put on her body. The height of hypocrisy is what we're dealing with, ladies and gentlemen. My body, my choice, my body, my choice. Wait, but men can play in girls' sports. Wait, but men can go in women's bathrooms. I mean, it's sheer lunacy when you think about it. Let's see what she has to say about her physical abuse at the hands of Antifa. Then we'll quickly go take a look at what happened to Antifa recently. There's a video going around about one Antifa guy who got arrested, and he's sitting there shaking like this, and while he's in detention, and he's like, It's because Antifa's been allowed to run amok and nobody be allowed to check them. It's because when the Proud Boys got into a fight with Antifa, mutual combat, 3-on-2 was 3 Antifa and 2 of them, and they knocked them out. The Proud Boys were given 5 to 7 years in prison for a fight. Mutual combat fight. These are people who have been protected. And I'm going to tell you this, ladies and gentlemen, just so you understand it. It's not just necessarily that the Democratic Party has been protecting these idiots. As much as they hate the Lord, as much as they hate Jesus, as much as they hate God, and they're willing to verbalize it, God himself has been protecting them. Because you notice, Antifa ain't walked down the streets of New Orleans or walked into the wrong neighborhood and really got shot, stabbed. It could end bad for Antifa. Antifa, God kind of likes you in some way, shape, or form because he has not unleashed his most vicious sons against you. There was one group of sons that came and they smashed you, and then you got protected. And that was it. There are other sons of God out here that do not care about the law, that will smash your head into the concrete, and against walls, and just won't care. But for some reason, you haven't run into them yet. You better thank Jesus, and you better stop, because it's coming. I can feel it coming in the air at night.
Portland police say they're investigating. I guess you had spoken to a dialogue officer. I don't even know what that means, but he did nothing. So I don't even know what he's there for. Does it kind of feel like Portland officials I can't believe I'm even saying this, but have formed some sort of alliance with Antifa?
Oh, absolutely. I would consider them Antifa at this point. Why not? So their whole agenda is to get ICE out of Portland. So they're trying to shield the public from what's going on down on the ground. But I have 4 months worth of video footage showing warlike scenes happening here. None of that footage is from 2020. But then you have Portland Police Chief Bob Day saying, oh, the videos that you guys are seeing are from 5 years ago. They're absolutely not. We have the evidence to back it up. And how dare he do that? I'm a journalist. I don't really say this often, but Portland Police Chief Bob Day, you need to resign. You need to resign immediately and now, because you are a horrible leader and it's time for you to go.
Yeah, he doesn't look like he's taking this whole thing very seriously. And my God, stay safe. You're a very, very brave young reporter. You got to protect yourself. These people look very dangerous. And I'm glad it wasn't worse, Katie. But keep up the great work.
Sure.
I mean, you're one of the only ones in there.
Look how they blacked her eye. Look how they blacked that girl eye. Look how they blacked the eye. Now, she a dog. I'm going to give it to her. She a full-on dog. She out there in them streets, and she reporting. Bruce Lee must have not been able to handle them all. And if you don't know what I mean by Bruce Lee, hold on. Let me go show you Bruce Lee. If you want to follow her, it's Katie Davis Court. They say Davis Court. It's Davis Court to me. Katie Davis Court on Twitter. Now, that's fine, Bruce Lee. I just want you to see some of the things that's been happening to this woman since she's been out. Here he is. This is her security guard I was telling you about. I call him Bruce Lee. Out there dealing with hundreds. Literally, he's dealing with hundreds of people, but they come in like waves of 5 and 10. They're agitators that try and get through him to attack her.
No. Back up. No, back up.
You threatened us with weapons. Now it's time for you to hook up.
You guys need to move back. I'm gonna fuck you up. The only conservative out here. Yeah, get the fuck out, go. Get out of here.
Please take your weapons elsewhere. This is a peaceful assembly. We don't need violent people here.
You'll be the first person to hit anybody today.
See, there's a reason why they play the music. It's so when someone does a video, you notice how they went through 3 songs? They do it like there was these song snippets, so the video that you're recording of them gets copyrights. Now watch this. You want to see it puts the lotion on its skin? It puts the lotion on its skin or it gets the hose again. It puts the lotion on its skin or it gets the hose again. Please, sir, let me out. Let me out, sir. My parents will pay money for me. Please, sir. Please. There it is right there. Please, sir. My parents will pay. Oh, my parents are rich. They'll pay money for me, sir. Please, sir. There it is right there. It puts the lotion on its skin. Watch. Let me go back. Let me rewind it. It puts the lotion on its skin. Please, sir. Please. No, let me go, sir. Please. Please, sir. Let me go. Right there. Right there. It puts the lotion on its skin on the bottom right. Look at it. Please, sir. It puts the lotion on your skin. Put the lotion on your skin. Right there. Wild Bill. Literally, Wild Bill from Silence of the Lambs. Right there on the screen. What are we talking about, ladies and gentlemen? It puts the lotion on its skin or it gets the hose again. Literally, Wild Bill. You don't, like, hold on. Now, I want you to try and tell me that don't look like him. That's Wild Bill. That's when he's handing the bucket down. He's like, put the lotion on your skin. Or it gets the hose again. The same thing. You know why? Because it's a spirit. Because that's a perverted, cross-dressing, murderous spirit. And that's what you have out in the streets in Portland. That's why they must be smashed. Because it's a person that's in possession of a spirit. Well, man, I don't think somebody should do anything. I don't give a damn what you think. I don't care what you think. That is Wild Bill right there. It puts the lotion on its skin. If he could get to Katie and get her in a private room, he would have her in the bottom of a well, pouring water on her, making sure her skin was moist so he could use that skin later on. Put the lotion on your skin. And when we understand, that's what we're dealing with. And when you understand, if you just so happen to stumble across his channel, you're like, man, this guy's entertaining, but I don't believe it. I don't agree with anything he says. I think the Democrats are okay. The Democrats are fine. You know, they do make some mistakes. No. Your ass is Wild Bill too. You have a well in your basement because you are just as bad as Wild Bill. You are one step away from having someone in a well in the basement saying, put the lotion on your skin, because it is a spiritual thing, not a natural thing. That's a person that's went all the way full demonized, and you are on your way to being full demonized. You will make people put lotion on their skin, or they will get the hose again if you are not careful. I know what I'm saying sound crazy. You're like, man, this dude be tripping. No, I'm not tripping. You will be like them. That's the whole purpose of the demons. They want to get expression through you. They want to live through your flesh. Yeah. So you have no choice but to go there. Everybody be like, DW, you need to talk about the fallen angels and the Nephilims and this and this and this and this. They was gay. They was homosexuals. Yeah. That's why you had all the homosexuals running around in Sodom and Gomorrah that wanted to sleep with the handsome angels. The angels like, nah, we getting the hell up out of here. They went after strange flesh in Sodom and Gomorrah. Strange flesh. What was the strange flesh? It was angels' flesh. Well, why would you have an intense urge to have strange angel flesh unless you've had strange angel flesh in the past? It puts the lotion on its skin, or it gets the hose again. Moving on. Now, the next thing we need to talk about is the government shutdown, which that's all over the news. The government shut down, the government shut down, the government shut down, the government shut down. I'm going to share what I think, from my personal perspective, what has happened to cause the government shutdown. You see, the Democratic Party has the old Democrat like royalty, and then they have this new blood, which is Democratic Socialist Party of America. And so you have a Chucky Schumer and you have Hakeem Jeffries, both of them who are basically being bullied by the Democrat Socialists. This is just my theory on what has happened. And so AOC came out recently and she said, yeah, you know, I may primary Chuck Schumer. And I put myself in Chuck's shoes. You know what I'm saying? The last time we had to get a continuing resolution to have a clean budget bill passed, Chuck Schumer went, met with Donald Trump, got the CR done. He explained to these idiots, no, you can't do this. We can't shut down the government. It's going to end bad for us. They all talked crazy about him and attacked Chuck Schumer and said they were going to primary Chuck Schumer. And so imagine for a moment you are in Chuck Schumer's shoes. You got these crazy radical leftists over here who technically want to take over the Democratic Party that you have built, the infrastructure that you have built. You are being invaded by socialist, Marxist, communists. Your party's being invaded. Don't believe me? Let's just go take a look real quick at what my man from my hometown has been saying. I call him Skeletor. I can't remember his real name right now. Hold on a second. It's on the article. Hold on. Here we are, ladies and gentlemen, on our Miro board. And this board, if you're new, is a board where we track the news. I'll zoom all the way out, and you can see all these different news events that we track, all the way to defense stocks that went public, all the way down to the Spirit Cities, news by Alex Jones, spiritual news, everything you need to know. The contention that we have is this is the three-headed dragon that is attacking America. I'm moving too fast, I'm sorry. The Free Palestinian movement, the LGBT movement, and the woke movement. The woke movement would be a part of the Democratic Socialist Party for America. They are woke, right? So you have them combined with the LGBTQ, Antifa, Trantifa, cross-dressing crazies, plus the Muslims. This is what we're dealing with. Anybody who can see it, this is the three-headed dragon that has risen up against America. And they're trying to go from sea to shining sea, is what they're trying to do. And it's not going to work. I just want you to know it's not going to work, but it ain't going to be pretty in the process of getting rid of them. Hold on. Now, Jim Carvell is a representative of old blue blood Democrats, the old Clinton Democrats, right? And here's him saying in May 11, 2025, these people are just helpless. Jim Carvell calls out Ilhan Omar to start her own party and quit having and hating Whitey, right? Because he's sitting there saying, he's going to explain it to him, please, Jim Carvell. Now, I don't care how you feel about Jim Carvell, like whether you like, oh, Jim's a piece of crap, but Jim is one hell of a political consultant. Anybody who knows consultants knows that Jim is he's a bulldog of a political consultant. So what he's going to say makes sense. Jim, please say this for me, please.
Lady, why don't you just get out the Democratic Party? Honestly, start your own movement. All right, let's do the simple math. And probably 69%, I don't know, we could call Jim Garcia or Jeff Garrett. Roughly 69% of the people going to vote in November, maybe more. Let's do 70 for just round math, are going to be white. Of that, 48%, maybe a little more, are going to be male. So that's roughly, let's just call it 33 1/3% of the entire election. Well, let's just run against them because that's so goddamn smart. All right. So now we're going to have a campaign by the progressive left against white men who vote about a third of everybody that votes in an election. Why don't you, lady, start your own party? And then when it's over, if you want to caucus with the Democrats, fine. We agree with a lot of things that you do, but we don't believe we ought to be running against white men. In fact, we don't think we ought to be running against any gender, any ethnic group, any race, any religion, or anything else. God damn, these people are just helpless. They cannot be helped. There's nothing you can do to help them. They don't want to be helped. And if they had any guts, they'd start their own goddamn political party and get out of ours. I'm sorry.
So that is the contention in May 2025 as it pertains to the old blood Democrat Party and the new blood Democrat Party, which is the squad. They remember that was Ilhan Omar, AOC, the Muslim socialist, communist, and then they brought in a transgender guy into government that walks around, and that's a guy that walks around and dressed like a woman. It's in government. All right. And they're all in the Democratic Party. And so now let's fast forward to the government shutdown, the shutdown government. And here comes Chucky Schumer. And Chuck Schumer knows they shouldn't shut down the government. Chuck Schumer knows they have no leverage. But the last time Chuck Schumer did the right thing by these clowns, they all attacked him. So imagine for a moment, they're all stark, raving, mad lunatics who are coming at you. They're pressuring you. We're going to get rid of you. They're lunatics. And you already told these lunatics, hey, I need y'all to sit down somewhere. What y'all doing is not going to work. And he made a decision, and he played the card, and they all attacked him. So now he says, you know what? Fuck it. Let's shut this bitch down, man. Fuck it. Let's shut it down. And so what you see happening right now, in my humble opinion, is the blue blood Democrat royalty saying, hey, when it comes to these primaries, this extreme leftist stuff on a lot, when it comes to these kind of localized elections, not major elections, these clowns gonna win. So they'll win in Portland, and a socialist will win in Portland. A socialist may win in New York. But when you get to what I would call like the major elections, I'm missing the word that I'm looking for, like primary, the bigger elections, not like little small mayors and state run. I'm talking about the big deal. When you get to the big deal, they're going to get wiped out. They're going to get wiped out. And so Chuck Schumer's in a spot, and this is just my opinion, where he's saying, shit, I'm not going to be around here. And it's clear that I'm about to get wiped out. But you think you're going to take the infrastructure that we've built, you think you're going to invade and take over the infrastructure. No, I'm going to blow it all up. I personally think Chuck Schumer is blowing it all up. We will know if I'm right if this goes on for 10, 15, 20, 30 days. Because right now, Donald Trump is cutting their stuff. And right now, people are getting laid off and furloughed and fired. But Here is the beautiful Caroline Lovett talking about it.
Fix this problem. And look, we have $0 coming into the federal government right now because the Democrats shut it down. So what Russ Vought is working diligently on is examining how we can fix this mess to ensure that critical funding continues, that we can get people paid. But the Democrats are making that very difficult. And that's why the president put out a statement this morning saying that we're going to start looking across the board at layoffs and at agencies that we feel do not best serve the American taxpayer, that may need to be halted or permanently cut.
So on that, I wanted to ask you about that because he mentioned Russ Vought in that. I think that came out about 8 o'clock this morning about cutting certain programs that they deem are not necessary. Is that real or is that a negotiating tactic?
Oh, it's very real. And the Democrats should know that they put the White House and the president in this position. And if they don't want further harm on their constituents back home, then they need to reopen the government. It's very simple. Pass the clean continuing resolution, and all of this goes away. We would not be having these discussions here at the White House today if not for the Democrats voting to shut the government down. This is an unfortunate consequence, and the president and Russ Vought will be meeting on that later today.
And in case you're wondering how this is working out for the Democratic Party, the shutdown, which would definitely be called the Schumer shutdown, even though I don't believe Schumer is the one who did the shutdown. I believe it's the people who are pressuring Chuck Schumer to do the shutdown. I think he's captured at this point in time. If you wonder how it's going, here's an IRS employee talking about what they're going through. And then there's these mass layoffs happening and everything else. But listen to the IRS employee.
But the American people, the American taxpayers, the American workers, government workers need to be put first. And I think America's tired of that. They have families, they have children, they have elderly parents, they have financial commitments, mortgages, rent, car notes, and on and on and on. And it is unfair, unacceptable for government workers to be held at bay, not allowed to do their job. We want to work. Put us back to work. Open this government up.
Now, let's just keep it real. I agree with them. I think it's terrible that those government workers are not allowed to work, that they're furloughed or they're not getting paid or they're sent home. But let's just keep it real. There's a reason why they call it the swamp. Many of those government employees were Democrats, especially the ones that were brought in under Biden where he did all this hiring, the ones before that under Obama where they did all this hiring over the 8 years that Obama was in office. And so you have the swamp full of Democrat operatives. And it makes sense that they vote in their own best interest. Like if I'm sitting on a job doing nothing, got a federal job, especially when I can work from home. Remember, most of the people working from home for COVID, they complained about coming back to the office after the pandemic was over. When it's time to vote, you're going to vote Democrat. Now, I understand what he's saying. I understand that he's upset. But if you go back and you look, the polls were overwhelming that the political affiliation with governmental employees was, I want to say something like 68% Democrat voters. That's what it was. Now, and don't get me wrong. I'm not saying because you vote Democrat that you need to not get paid. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is because you voted Democrat, you guaranteed you would not get paid. You brought this on yourself is what I'm saying to you. Again, I'm going to say it again. I'm not saying because you voted to be for Democrats that you should not be paid. I think you should be paid. But what I am saying is because you are a Democrat and you voted Democrat, you are now not getting paid. Because you voted for a party who prioritizes illegal aliens and their health care above your own job, you are not getting paid. You brought this on your own self. That is the problem here. You did this to yourself. It's the equivalent of taking a 9mm handgun and shooting yourself in your own kneecap. Close range, bones blown out. The bullet ricochets off your shin, bounces out, and hits the wall and goes right back to the front of your calf, that is what you have done to yourself. And do not sit here and blame all of us because you did this to yourself. Well, DW, the illegals not getting no free health care. That's a lie. Hold on, wait a minute. Let me put some truth up in it. Let's see what the illegals say. Now, I can't habla español at all. No, I'm not good at habla. I can habla a little bit of Espanol. But if you can habla Espanol, please, what I want you to do is there are captions on the screen, but just to verify what these young ladies are saying, and you can habla Espanol, I would like you to type in the comments exactly what they're saying. Or you can say, yes, they're saying they're getting free healthcare, or no, they're saying they're not getting free healthcare. But if you can habla Espanol, please habla as much as you can about this thing right here. But here we go, ladies and gentlemen.
¿Por cuánto tiempo han estado quedándose aquí en el Rojo Hotel?
Desde que yo llegué, de julio.
¿Cuántos meses es eso?
Como 7 meses.
¿Y han tenido que pagar alojamiento?
No, nada, no he pagado nada.
¿Es 100% gratis?
Sí.
¿Y le dan almuerzo, desayuno?
Sí, le dan como el niño, personales, nos dan pañales, lo que necesiten ellos.
¿Y ahí en el hotel hacen limpieza de las cuartos?
Sí, hacen. Sí, todos los días hacen limpieza, cambian las sábanas, hacen aseo.
¿Todos los días hacen eso?
Sí, todos los días.
¿Han poder conseguir trabajo ustedes?
No.
Yo no. Si ustedes tuvieran un problema de medicina, ¿cómo podrían recibir ayuda con eso?
Bueno, con una tarjeta, la del seguro de Medicare. Y nosotros tenemos la Metro Plus y eso nos abarca el seguro que nosotros necesitamos para los niños y también nosotros nos beneficiamos de eso.
¿Se sintieron apoyados gracias a nuestro presidente Joe Biden?
Bueno, sí, porque si no estamos trabajando ni nada, él es el que nos está ayudando prácticamente.
Excuse me. Did they just say that they live in a hotel? Because I don't habla Espanol, but I read a little English. Did it say that they live in a hotel and they get their bedrooms changed every day and that they get all the food they need and breakfast and lunch and dinner? And did they say they get Medicaid and that they got something called Metro Plus that takes care of all their child's needs? Was that what they said? I don't habla Espanol. Do you habla Espanol? If you habla Espanol, please verify this for me. So when you see, and this was when Joe Biden was in office, there's no health care for illegal aliens. There's no health care. We don't want to get health care for illegal aliens. This is the same health care that was cut off by the executive order by Donald J. Trump, and then in the big beautiful bill. And so now they're trying to get this put back into place. Why? Because they need these young ladies to come here, have babies, and be Democrats. They need those 2 votes. And then they need those 2 votes because every day somebody else is waking up to the fact that they are really not a Democrat. Don't believe me, just watch. Don't believe me, just watch. Don't believe me, just watch. Hey. Boy, y'all here looking like you're chasing after cheetahs. What you doing, dog? You know, worked up a sweat. What you chasing, a lion? Chasing rabbits, man? What you chasing? Darkness? Darkness in the building, everybody. Darkness. What you chasing, darkness? Let me quit playing. Go ahead.
Man, I'm starting to realize at the big age of 40, I just may be conservative. Hear me out. So after hearing all the hate and all the negativity from this Charlie Kirk death coming from the liberal side, man, that just doesn't align with my belief system. It just don't. I cannot put myself in the category of people that have that much hate in their heart. Like, it's absolutely insane. And man, just like a lot of black people, we grew up voting straight Democrat because that's what our parents told us to do. That's what somebody else told us to do. But as I'm older now and I read the Bible for myself and I'm listening to both sides, I'm like, man, I cannot align myself or call myself a liberal or be on the left side of things when everything that I read from the Bible is showing me to be more conservative. Like, as a believer in Christ, we are supposed to follow Jesus. I mean, Jesus would not be a liberal. I'm sorry. He just won't. And I'm sorry if this offends anybody. Hey, man, that's on you. Read the Bible, man. Like, what side really aligns with conservative or liberal. Like, what side? I don't know, man. It's a lot of division going on right now. It's a lot of hate. I'm not for it, man. I'm not for politics at all, but dang, it's just sad to see all what's going on in the
All
day.
right, darkness. All right, darkness. Darkness.
Y'all be
Darkness.
blessed.
I got you. We got you, darkness. Listen. Darkness. Let me tell you something, darkness. So you understand, darkness. You almost there, darkness. You're almost there. Darkness, you're not really a conservative, darkness. You a man of the kingdom, darkness. And if the conservative party at any point in time does not agree with the kingdom of our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, then they must be squashed like a bug, darkness. They must be squashed, darkness. What did the five fingers say to the face? A slap. That's what has to happen to them. You're getting there, darkness. But the problem is you got to gravitate from the Democratic Party, that mindset, which is full on demonic. That's put the lotion on your skin. Put that lotion on your skin mindset to, oh man, this feels good over here. I don't feel depressed. Things are going well. I'm conservative, have conservative values. Then you get to the point you're like, oh man, all them people on some other stuff. Yeah, he good. I like him. But now I like my Jesus, man. And if you ain't rocking with me and Big J, then I can't rock with you. And then you make your decisions based upon its kingdom decisions to advance the kingdom of God. Yeah. Darkness, good job, darkness. Darkness, everybody. Darkness in the building. Darkness, everybody. Listen, that's it for this video because we got Bible study starting in less than 30 minutes. And today has been a long, beautiful day full of meetings. And I didn't do an early morning video. I will be back on my schedule tomorrow, ladies and gentlemen. Full bore, bang, bang, boom, bang, boogie for you tomorrow. But today, this is all I got for you. It don't mean that I don't love you, because I love you. This is just all I got for you. You know what I'm saying? It's like I came over with some commodity cheese. You used to be coming over with groceries, shrimp, biscuits, grits, hog mog. Some of that sweet wine, box wine. How many of y'all drink some of that box wine? Used to be coming with all that stuff. Right now, I got a big old block of government cheese in a white cardboard box. And it's good. You can cut off that cheese and make you a grilled cheese sandwich and you'll survive till tomorrow. But tomorrow, I bring all the groceries with me, okay? Love you. Deuces. Bye-bye.